Because you see, I used to say this sentence a lot. I'm just a little Lenja from a little town, Maribor, from a little tiny street, from a little tiny country. You see, the thing is, when people see results, they trust that it was the right decision. So it's never good, bad, but it's always who knows what that will bring. I always thought I needed to put a label on me. But then I always remember this saying when they say, I thought I died, but then I remembered I'm a seed. And this is when my biggest change of me becoming me again began. You burned out. And my first thought was, Lenja Faraguna doesn't have time to burn out. And I was like, what are you saying? So I was introvert because I was with the wrong people. And then I realized that I just wanted to hide.
So I'm so happy because Lenja is not only my guest, but it's only my friend. So Lenja, how to introduce you to the public? Everybody know, and you introduce yourself as a human,
Yes.
as a location-free mompreneur, and as a mindset and modern marketing coach.
Yes.
What are you, the best version of you, of this?
Well, the thing is, Helena, that I always thought I needed to put a label on me. You know, like if I don't know who I really am, like you're a marketing guru or you are a coach, a mindset coach, then I do not have my worth. And then I realized that what I need to be is human first, and then everything else follows. And when I became a mom, and you know that because you helped me, well,
I didn't help you by making babies.
Mindset help. You said when you will become a mom, you will be reborn. And this is when my biggest change of me becoming me again began. So human first and then the rest.
You are in business for how many years?
It was 10 years last year that I celebrated with my own company.
And what happened in these 10 years?
Oh, everything. Oh, everything. A tornado, a volcano erupted. Earthquakes. Oh, so many earthquakes. But you see, the most important thing that I realized is that many times during my career, I thought I died because it hurt so much, either privately or business-wise. But then I always remember this saying when they say, I thought I died, but then I remembered I'm a seed. And I always grow. So what I have learned is right now, my mindset is that I turn every shit, life, unpleasant, unplanned situation into a fertilizer for me to grow and achieve my glory. So it's never good, bad, but it's always who knows what that will bring. So this is really easy and a relief for me when you're a businesswoman, when you're a mom, when you're a sole provider of the family. You can't be, oh, this is bad, this is good, this is bad, because you just die. But what you need is say, whatever happens, I'll be okay. And that's me. And that is the most amazing thing that you can give to yourself.
This is a self-love.
Oh yes, yes, self-love.
So how important is self-love? Because you see, you know, talk also a lot about women.
Yeah.
What do you think about women and self-love and dedication and being honest to yourself first?
Well, how important do I believe that self-love is? I believe that it's so important that I tattooed it onto my body. This is my newest tattoo. Helena hasn't seen it yet in live. Have you?
No, not in live.
So the thing is that this is the Braille version. It says 142. And 142 is the code for I love me. And that is something that was an enigma to me 7 years ago. And I think it's still something that is completely out of the programming of most women, because they feel guilty of taking care of their needs. So they just strip away all their needs and say, when I do everything for my business and for my family, when everybody is okay, then maybe it's time for me. And I realized that that was the wrong way. And I learned that the hard way. And I do not want many other women to have to do it on their own. So this is why I'm willing to talk about this so vulnerably and so openly. I always say nakedly honest, because in 2017, in October, I had a coaching call with a coach. And I said, I am without energy. I can't come up with ideas, and I'm supposed to be the creative mind. People plug into me and say, oh, you're full of energy, you have ideas, you are constantly creating content for my people, and I just couldn't do anything. And I could not make a euro, a cent for 4 months. And I didn't know what was happening. I just felt lost inside. And then this coach asked me, so what did you do this year? In 2017, and I said, oh, I launched 5 masterminds, and she said, how much are you sleeping? And I was like, 3, 4, 5 hours. Does Noah was 8 months old then?
This is your son?
My son, yeah. And does he have a nanny? Oh no, I waited for Noah for 9 years. How can I now give it to somebody else? I need to be everything, right? So I would work at 11, 10, I would sometimes work till 4 o'clock in the morning, then breastfeed him, of course, and be with him the whole day. When he was asleep, I wasn't sleeping, I was working, or I was spending time with Miran. And then she said, oh, darling, I know what's happening. And I was like, really? You have a business strategy solution for me? And she was like, you burned out. And my first thought was, Lenja Faraguna doesn't have time to burn out. I was like, what are you saying? And she said, there's nothing inside of you from where you can give, right? And this is where I realized that was my biggest self-discovery, was to realize that I did not take care of myself at all. And when I started, everything changed. So self-love now is the most effective business strategy that any human being can do. Because when you have energy, right, you can give.
For yourself.
Absolutely.
First.
Absolutely. And most women, I know because I work with a lot of them, and I was or still am sometimes I'm still, that small version of me, which is always fighting inside of me, the ego and
I can do it.
I can do it, or, oh, I feel guilty if I go and take a nap at 12 when Noah goes to sleep. Right? Because I can, because I live such a life, but then I think, oh, I could send another email, I could do another Facebook Live, and then what I recently started doing, recently being, let's say, a year or 2 years, is I started listening to my body, because I never was aware of the body and the mind connection. And when I felt really chronic pain in my knees and in my legs, I didn't know what it was. And then my coach told me about the connection, that the body, the feelings are the language of the body, and the thoughts are the language of the mind. And through Dr. Dispenza, Joe Dispenza, you know him, and through my coaches, I realized that my body is just telling me there is something happening, because we are not connected with ourselves, so we forget to listen to ourselves. Right? And even if you don't recognize your thoughts, you can recognize the feelings. How do you feel? When I ask people that, people go, oh, I don't know. I said, did your mood change? And they go, oh yeah, I don't feel that good. And I said, okay, so what triggered that? So we go back to spending time with yourself, which is self-love, being in dialogue inside, and taking care of your body. And this is how I started my rebirth, right, from October 2017, and it's just changed me, changed my relationship with Miran, with Noah, and now how I can serve other mompreneurs to do the same.
What did you do for the first time when this happened, when the crash happened?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Noah got a nanny.
Okay.
Really.
Okay.
And she was the neighbor.
Yeah.
I mean, universe just delivers, you know, when you go into action.
When you open your eyes.
When you open your eyes, that means you are opening up, you are letting the light in, and you are enjoying the process of self-discovery. So, okay, so am I a bad mom if he has a nanny for 3 hours a day? So it took me 3 weeks to self-discover what my thought and the block was why I don't let him go. And then I realized that that was just not something that serves me, right? So I released that block, I shifted that block, and he was there the first day. He would go, bye-bye, and he would go, and he would be there the whole day. The first day, he would sleep there because I thought only I can put Noah to sleep. He's just here. Yeah. So Noah got a nanny, I got a coach, I went into a mastermind, I found a community of people who are going through the same. So I did not feel crazy or alone. And sometimes as a mompreneur, as somebody who is moving a lot, and you know, sometimes I'm a few steps ahead of a certain, let's say, community, and then you feel lonely. And then when you are, you know, in a community of, like, you have your warrior family, right? You know that you are always supported. That helped me a lot.
And did you discuss with your future husband
Yes.
about the stuff, you know, because when you realize that something is just going to another direction that
Yes.
you actually didn't want it to,
Yep.
so what happened with the relationship with Miran? Miran is your future husband.
I believe that as I have grown, our relationship has also grown, and it's really amazing to see that because of my energy, he's changing a lot, which I believe is not always the case, right? But I believe that we have to grow together, otherwise we grow apart. And I'm like really happy that it's happening for us, which means that we can discuss things. So he would see me, he would feel me, that I was stressed, that I was not sleeping enough, that something stupid would trigger me and we would go into a fight. And when I came and I told him what the coach said, he was like, so what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to invest in myself. So I know that I borrowed money so that I could invest in that. And when, you see, the thing is, when people see results, they trust that it was the right decision. So he saw results and he see me grow in the last 7 years. And because he sees results in me, not just, you know, money results or something like that, but when he sees results, how we communicate, how I react differently to the same situation, then he is supportive and he pushes me. Yes, he would never, you know, say, don't invest. I invested, I don't know, 25,000 euros in the past year into myself, into my coaches, masterminds, and everything, right? And it was never a sense of, is this really needed, right? So, I don't know, I just feel that my energy and the results make him trust that this journey is also possible for him, the self-discovery, and I always tell him everything, what is happening inside of me, and how I go from stage 1, 2, 3, 4, and where I want to come out. What I used to do is I used to be a clever ass, and I would learn something, and then I would go, you should do it like this, right? Which we should never do. Just practice that, and when he will see results, people want to go, how did you do that? And this is how they will learn.
You said there is an issue by almost every woman about that.
Yeah.
So just being, you know, not present.
Yes.
Everywhere, but not present. Not understand or don't want to hear myself or my inner voice.
Yes, that's true.
Or my deepest voice.
Yes, that is so true. And this is why I believe that we, you and Smillion and me and many people in this industry need to be really nakedly honest with our own stories and what is happening inside of us. Because when you see somebody who is just showing everything as it's perfect, I have a location-free life, we are in the VIP there and this hotel and that plane, people think that they're doing something wrong because they think that we are all have it all figured out and we don't have low points, or we don't go through pain, or we don't go to fear, or through, I don't know, self-doubt or self-sabotage. Like everything is easy. So when I talk about this, then they open up and they see that all of these feelings are human. So guilt, how to not feel guilty, is something that you can learn, right? So how to not be afraid of the future as a solopreneur, as a mompreneur, is something that you practice, right? But I need to give you the steps, I need to give you the exercises, and this is how I started doing it. It's not like I'm gonna say, oh, you're so stupid for being so feeling guilty because you're not taking time for yourself. I'm not gonna say that, but I will show her that she will understand that I understand her by me opening up about ups and downs and how I get out of feeling bad faster, right? So when you mirror their feelings, they feel I'm not alone. They start opening up. They start realizing what their limiting beliefs are, or the blocks, because there are not more than 6 blocks with every human being. And when you show them how to make the baby step out of it, then they start moving.
And that is a relief.
The biggest thing is relief.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is relief, right? So that's absolutely true. That sometimes I just tell them, would that, if I told you this, would that bring relief? And they go, yes, good. Do you want to show me how we go there? Yes. But it's always their readiness, right? We can be as visible as possible and do as many podcasts and as many videos, but if people are not ready to apply a few things that we tell them, they will not see change, because change is not comfortable, right? When you are trying to do something different, even in the morning, they will go, oh my God, I'm now taking time for me, you know that? Like, should I? Right? And then you go, oh, that's just fear, and he's afraid of the unknown. So how do I overcome that? Oh, with this and this exercise. And that's all you do. And you practice this every day. And you also have a support system. This is important. Masterminds and all of membership sites and all of that. Just belonging somewhere makes you feel appreciated and makes you feel heard and makes you feel seen.
Lenja, how do you connect being a mompreneur, being entrepreneur, being a woman, and being in love with your future husband? Did you hear it?
Yeah, the third time. Yes.
So Mira, give me a big thanks.
How do I connect all this? By listening to myself. Before I listen to myself, just one example. I would think, okay, if Noah goes to sleep at, let's say, up to 9 p.m., then I have time and I can do my coachings at 9 and 10, stuff like that, right? And then I realized I don't want to do that. I want to have all my coachings are only because Noah goes to his nanny from 9 to 9:30. I need 1 hour for myself, right? Yoga, 25 minutes, journaling, right? And then I can start with my first coaching from 11. So I have one coach, right? So I was listening what is good for me, because when I feel good, I can do well and I can do good things, right?
And have a great results.
And have great results faster,
Yes.
right? Before I was pushing myself a lot. Oh, I can squeeze this coaching here and this coaching here. And I would not even have coaching packages. I would just be completely available to everybody whenever, right? And now I have, you get 1 hour per week with me. And I, schedule everything ahead. So when I look at my schedule, I'm calm. So I just look at that, oh, this, at timings that suit me, right? And then it's just the discussion with Miran. Okay, I said, okay, so let's say Tuesday and Thursday, it's always time for me to do lessons for my masterminds when I have live lessons for them. let's say from 1 hour to 1 hour and a half. And I always do that because Miran has somewhere to go in the afternoon with Noah, because there's this special playground open on Tuesday and Thursday. So I talk to him, but I first consult myself and I say, would that be okay? I would leave, or he says, you stay and Noah and I will go, or he says, I want to stay with Noah, it's really bad weather, and I go out, right? But we discuss it a lot, but I first discuss it with myself. What does feel good?
Lenja, are you still in marketing business? Because it sounds like you are in marketing business and in personal growth business.
Well, this is the thing. You have to know that Helena has helped me a lot through my phase of when I couldn't conceive a baby. And that was also me conceiving a new me, right? And I came up with this concept of marcareting, which Helena, you named, right? In Slovenia, you are. We are all geniuses. You're a genius. I love you.
So sorry.
So the thing is that I came up with marcareting in Slovenian, which with the first words M-A-R, which is care, right? And then because Helena and I knew that I want to go international, that would not work in the rest of the world. So Helena came up with care. So marcareting is my philosophy. And what is it really? It's the connection of mindset and modern marketing. Care, people think, oh, we need to care of the customer. Absolutely. But second place. So the first place is always taking care of yourself, and that means self-love. That means taking care of your mindset, you're consciously knowing what's happening in your inner dialogue of your heart and of your body, and modern marketing. So basically, this is the new concept that I came with, that it's mindset and modern marketing and everything together. So this is really home for me now. There was also always a part missing, because I was always modern marketing, copywriting, how to do things, how to be visible. But I realized that whatever strategy I gave to people, and I put together the Modern Marketing Academy, which was 90% strategy and 10% mindset, I would realize that people don't do it. And I was feeling, what am I doing wrong? I'm teaching them so many strategies and they don't execute. And then I realized that it's the other way around. It's mindset and self-love, 90%. And when you have that, the 10% that you do are worthy of 100%, you know, because you are so fast, you are so decisive, you know exactly what you want to do, and you don't have to procrastinate. And this is what happens to people. And then when people say, oh, you know, Facebook Lives, that's not for me. Oh, I hate Instagram. Oh, you know, writing, talking on stage, I'm not that kind of a person. And then I know, oh, here we are. Let's go back to basics. And then we go into the inner dialogue.
And this is the introvert person that is talking to extra.
Yes, Helena always teases me about that. But you know what I realized? The funny thing is that for a lot of time, I was scattered everywhere. So I was teaching in person, and I was doing that and that and that and that and that. And then I realized that I didn't really like the energy of a lot of people. And now I became really obsessed with taking care of my time and my energy. So I only go out and I only hang out with the people that are on the same level, which means same beliefs, same energy, same, let's say, worldview, but also people who are ahead of me, so they push me a bit so that I can see what I can do. But the thing is, with them, I'm not an introvert. Because I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't want to talk about, I don't know, stupid things, right? If we're gonna talk like this, I can talk forever to hundreds of people on this subject. So I was introvert because I was with the wrong people. And then I realized that I just wanted to hide. You know, when people came to me, when I was on stage, and they would want to hug me and thank me and be with me, and mostly people so many times plugged onto me and wanted things from me. And I couldn't say no. I didn't know how to set boundaries, and I would help people. I would give them advice. I would write PhD thesis to their Facebook question, and I would just write to them the whole strategy, 1 year, you name it, I gave it. And I was tired. And I realized maybe I'm an introvert, but I'm just only introvert with the wrong people. So you're always right. I'm not an introvert. Well, the thing is that I love being with myself. You know, when Miran leaves, it's Friday night, he goes out or something like that. A book, my podcasts or my webinars or something that I want to listen to, that I'm the happiest. But when I'm with the right people, I love being with the right people.
And you have shared also the stage with the very good and right people like Robin Sharma,
Yeah.
Gary Vee.
Yeah, Seth Godin and amazing people that it's so, I was just writing a post about this today. You know, people sometimes don't want to brag or don't want to say I've achieved this because they think other people will see that as bragging. But I tell them, just be really proud of what you have achieved. Because you see, I used to say this sentence a lot. I'm just a little Lenja from a little town, Maribor, from a little tiny street, from a little tiny country. And this is what I was for many, many years. Because I was self-hypnotizing myself to being exactly what I was saying about myself. Little. And then you realize that when you go back and you see that you have made tremendous shifts, right? And then you suddenly on the stage with Gary Vee and hanging out with him and seeing like, he's just like me, or I'm just like him. So when you realize that you are equal with the giants, it's just that they have made certain decisions faster than you, not procrastinating by, I always tell my people, my clients, don't be a clairvoyant. You are a businesswoman. You are not a clairvoyant about your future. But what I see people do, but if I do that, then this will happen and I will not be able. I said, well, either you know how to visualize, right? Because you're doing it just now. But do you want to go into the negative? Because you always have the positive. But then that would be like, really, that can happen to me? And then we go into the, am I worthy of this? You see, and then we have to go back to self-love. So you can achieve a lot if you start self-loving yourself. So this is why it's just a reminder of me, for me, that I need to love myself, because then I can achieve things. And even if something doesn't go as planned, which happens a lot, if you are a businesswoman or a businessman and you are growing fast, you will have to have made decisions really fast, right? And sometimes it doesn't come out as you planned, but then you have to know, whatever happens, I'll be okay. So it's again the mindset, going into the discomfort of change. When I went from offline business to online business in 2016, because that was the only way I could take care of my family. I would give birth in 14 days and I had no idea how I'll make money. What did you do? I jumped to online, right? Teaching, which is like an amazing industry, right? And I realized that this is what saved me, and that's me, right? So this is the thing that you get to be with Gary Vee and all the amazing people that maybe, you know, I used to write about them or quote them in my master's thesis, and now I'm having dinner with them and talking with them and being on the stage with them, right? And it's just this amazing feeling that I know that I created this, right? Because I started loving myself.
And you also see from them and teach or just learn from them that they're actually the good seeds, because they see good in themselves.
Yes.
And they love themselves.
Yes.
And this is the beginning of everything, right?
Yes.
Of the growth.
Of the growth, because they set the standard, right? When you see somebody who loves him or herself, or is confident, or is nakedly open saying, I have a coach, I have 3 coaches, I have 4 coaches, right? And when we come up with this, we raise the bar of what's the standard for, you know, my standard was, if I work hard and if people see that I work hard, then I'm worthy. You know, years ago, I would work before I had a child. My ex-husband and I had big offices because I need to show my fancy offices, right? I would barely survive by paying the rent, but people could see that I had big offices, right? And this is the thing, you know, that we sometimes just want to show something that is really not the important thing, right? So.
But you have to realize that.
Yes.
With experience.
Yes.
Lenja, thank you for this conversation. What advice would you say to the woman and the male entrepreneur who are listening now to us?
What would I say?
Begin with love?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Self-love is the most effective business strategy, and if you can give to people from the overflow of your cup, so everything with flows over, right? And when you are in abundance of your energy, of ideas, you set the standard, and you also basically give to them without taking anything away from you. So you make more money, and when you make more money, you can do more good in the world. It's always this abundance that needs to be inside of you and outside.